Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 365. It is Friday here in Cincinnati. We have another beautiful day. I don't know how long it's going to last. I think the rain is moving in and then we have cooler temperatures ahead for the weekend. But in this moment, I have my office door open and it's breezy and the sun is still shining. It's so beautiful. Okay, as I begin, it feels important to just let you know that Jade is loose. She is running around trying to settle herself down, I think, to sleep. She has sort of this frantic burst of energy right before she goes into a nap. And so she's been jumping all over me, but I trust that she's going to settle and just come hang out with us. We'll see how it goes. If you hear me yelp all of a sudden, it's because her claws got into my hand or my legs. She is fierce at times. It is amazing. I just feel like I need to say this. She is such a sassy little black cat. I mean, she's fearless. She will jump on top of our dog who's 35 pounds and I don't know, maybe she's 2 or 3 pounds. And then she just stares at our cat, our older cat, when Katniss hisses at her. She just stares at her like, whatever. It's hysterical. So some of that Jade, badass, crazy, awesome, fun, playful energy is apparently needing to be channeled into today's podcast. So I will react as necessary if she pounces, and you will hear it. But hopefully she will behave for the next little while we're together. Okay, today there's a few things that I'm going to be weaving into our time together. I'm not sure how it's all going to weave, but I trust it. And it feels very connected to last week's episode, which makes sense. Last week was Libra equilibrium, and we have moved from the sun sign of Libra, the new moon in Libra, into Scorpio energy. And they're very different energies for anyone who studies sociology or knows humans who are Libras and Scorpios. They're very different. And the shift, as I'm feeling it right now, it's like understanding what was is going to guide us into what is or what will be. And if you have not yet listened to last week's episode, it feels important to invite you to go do that before you continue listening to this episode. They're very connected. The images I've been seeing for today come from what I saw for last week. So perhaps if you haven't listened to it, pause this one, take your time, go back to last week, listen to that, and then come back here when you're ready. There's Jade. I have some printouts of things I want to share with you, and she's decided those would be entertaining to wrinkle up as we speak. Oh, she's funny. So last week I described, there you can hear. Last week I described this image I saw of the amusement parks, the water parks, where in the olden days when we would go to water parks, you would have the wave pool. And I described this feeling of being in the deep end of the wave pool and not really being able to find your steadiness underneath, not being able to ground into a feeling of safety. And the suggestion I offered was to visualize yourself backing up, to go from the deep end all the way to the shallow end, and perhaps see yourself sitting down, just observing she's doing laps now. She's moving some energy for us. And observing humanity from a different perspective, instead of being enmeshed in all of the chaos and the confusion, to back up, sit down, take a pause, and then find your own equilibrium within that. Find a place of tranquility and understanding, and then perhaps refocus. So I'd like to begin there. I'd like to begin this episode with that same image of being in the wave pool and sitting at the shallow end, the zero entrance, I think they call it, sitting at the shallow end and looking at what's happening, looking at the waves, seeing how they all come together and what the pattern is, what the rhythm is, where there are those hot spots that I described, where there's more intensity because the waves are coming from different directions, and there's lots of people trying to be in that place because it has the most adventure and the most dynamic energy. So perhaps begin there. Close your eyes if you're not driving. Allow yourself to visualize this big wave pool and to sit at the shallow end and observe the wave pool. So see it as they used to be, or as you can imagine it right now. Lots of people excited to be out for some public adventure because we haven't been able to do that. Lots of people all in these shifting waves. So the wave machine is turned on. The waves are coming in a certain pattern or rhythm. And the people who've chosen to co-participate, co-create with us, are all in here, and they're having their own experience. And in some of those hot spots, they're bumping into each other, and perhaps some are going underwater, and some are swimming a little above, treading water, and others are just standing knee-high or thigh-high, just looking around at what's happening. Bring your awareness all the way back. So see yourself sitting at the edge by yourself, with someone else, whatever you'd like, and just observe the activity and the movement of what's happening in the wave pool. If it feels too busy or too chaotic, go ahead and just breathe slowly for a little bit and settle yourself into your body. Allow yourself to have the gift of this visualization. Often what happens when we slow down our lives and drop into a meditative moment like this and visualize something, the perspective of our reality shifts. The understanding of all that's happening around us is slightly different, and it allows a new possibility. So put yourself in your body at the edge of the wave pool, just watching what's happening. What's happening if you are living in the United States at this time, listening to this episode fairly currently? Imagine this wave pool is the humanity known as Americans in an election year for a new president. In the last week and a half of decisions being made that are going to have incredible ripples throughout our country, throughout our population. Just take a look. What's happening? There's so much that is going on, and when we sit at the edge and just observe it for a moment, we can see things a little more clearly, perhaps. So take a breath, let your body relax. Imagine at this wave pool the sun is shining. Even if it looks like there's rain clouds coming, in this moment, right here, right now, the sun is shining. You might even need to put a little hat on to block some of the sun because it's so bright in your eyes. As you look out at what's happening, are people enjoying themselves? Does it feel like it's a friendly wave pool or kind of an aggressive, not so friendly wave pool? Yours may look completely different than anyone else's, so don't worry about what other people are seeing or feeling. Look at what you're seeing and feeling. How's your wave pool looking? Are there some hot spots that they're like when you see, what would it be called? Like the whatever those images are, heat images. My nephew just showed me one last night. I think it's a heat sensor, and it shows hot spots in the body. You know those images that have like reds, oranges, greens, blues to show cool, to show heat? As you look at your wave pool, are there literally red spots that are very aggressive as you're looking at the activity of the energy? More intensity. If so, what do you know about that? And how do you feel sitting here at the edge of the wave pool looking at what's happening there? Does the distance provide a little more breathing room for you? Relax your body again. As you look at the wave pool, are there places that are so peaceful and tranquil, and you could imagine yourself just standing there and being just as peaceful as you are here in this moment at the edge of the wave pool? As you allow yourself to see this image, translate it into your life right now, your activities, your relationships, what you're participating in. Are there hotspot places that when you allow yourself to see them like this, you realize perhaps maybe they're serving you, maybe they're getting your energy moving and helping you focus by being more deliberate about what you're passionate about? Maybe there's clarity coming from that hotspot. Maybe it's draining your energy, your strength, your focus. Maybe it leaves you feeling depleted after you have those conversations or events or experiences that you're seeing in this image. When I see this image of the wave pool, one of the words I hear very clearly is choice. We choose to go into this wave pool or this activity or this lifetime, this relationship, whatever you're looking at. We still have choice even when we're in the experience. So here I am choosing to see myself at the edge of the wave pool, and I can see I have the choice to stand up and go swim in the deep end. I have the choice to stand up and walk over to another area with other people, with other activities. I have the choice to just stay right where I am. I have the choice to get up and leave the wave pool. We have all these different choices. So can you feel inside of yourself the freedom that comes from knowing you have these choices? You get to decide, what are you participating in, and what feels exciting or passionate to you, what feels draining and not even fun anymore for you. I will remind you of what I was saying last week. We chose as souls to come have these human experiences. We chose to go into the wave pool and have this adventure. And owning that choice, it shifts things, because you're not the victim to anyone else's choices of what they're doing. You are here in this experience deciding, do you like it? Do you want to change it? Do you want something different? And that choice is freedom. It's the freedom of knowing it's all shiftable. It's all the movement can be adjusted at any time, and you're the one who's doing that shifting of the movement. So, all of that said, I'm going to offer you a couple readings that I hope will expand your awareness or open up some new possibilities, some new definitions of freedom and choice. As I say that noise was Jade scrambling up to the windowsill so she could look out the window. How perfect is that? She's looking for a new perspective right along with us. Okay, here is the first one. This is also going to be the title of our podcast episode today. It's a new song by Trevor Hall. If you do not know Trevor Hall, I invite you to check him out. I will put a link to this specific song at the bottom in the descriptions, and he has a new album out that's just incredible. And this is from the new album. So here's what it says. The old story You could play it out, but all of it's in your head. Holding on with both two hands. Gotta let go. Is it really you knocking at your own door, always looking for something more? Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. Oh no, no, no. You just gotta let that old story go. You just gotta let that good river flow into your heart. It's a start. Where are you gonna run to if you're gonna run from here? You're only running from your own fear. It'll catch up now. You gotta let it die. Gotta let it go its own way. Who will you be if you let it stay? I'm afraid. Oh, no, no, no. You just gotta let that old story go. You just gotta let that good river flow into your heart. It's a start. As I read this, Jay just knocked over this painting that I have in my office that's on a canvas. It just went and fell down. That old story, she's changing it for us. And then here's the second reading, and I love this so much. So if you do not know Anara, let me say it again, Anara White Bear. She is this beautiful woman that I met a few years ago in Indianapolis, and she has these beautiful transmissions that she does. I'll see if I can put a link in the description so you can learn more about her and find her website. But she posts these, here's Jade again. She posts these transmissions, she calls them, from different planets, different beings of energy. And this one that she just posted this week is so perfect and beautiful, and it's in alignment with this image I have of choice and being aware of where you are and deciding, do I like it? Do I want it to be different? As we talk about moving in from Libra into Scorpio, what are we ready to let go of? What are we shifting out of so that something new can be created, some new possibilities can be expanded? So here is what she says. This is from Anara White Bear. It's a new star being transmission from the Arcturians. There is only love. Here's what she writes. And we walked, and we walked, and we walked. We left one land to go to another. And we walked, and we walked, and we walked. This represents when we left one planet to go to another planet. And in these days when there is much change, it is important to see this. You are traveling from one planet to another while you are on the same planet. It is difficult. To allow this change to happen, you must keep walking. You must keep walking. For standing still, you will not be part of the change. You must allow yourself to create something new. Think of yourself as traveling to another planet while you are all on the same planet. There is creativity in this endeavor, for as you walk, you have a vision. You have a vision of what you see that comes next. If you lose that vision, and you allow whatever you are being told to create the new, you will change your vision. You hear the sirens going by? The sound effects today are crazy. It's like last week, I think I was saying I need my own little sound effect button, a little board with all the buttons. Today, they're just creating all the sounds for me. Okay, back to Anar. If you lose that vision and you allow whatever you are being told to create the new, you will change your vision. For years and years, you have allowed the new to come forward within you. You have energetically changed your way of being to allow the new to come forward. And in these past few years, you have been confused because the energy has changed. And then she shares a lot more, which I'm going to move down to this part. It is not as dark as you think it is. There are things that are not right on this planet, but it is more personal for each being that we need to understand. Instead of saying it is something out there, the government, it is within each one of us, that which you have experienced and that which you know is wrong. There is a gentle preference towards goodness that if you will allow yourself to move towards, that will help us all, that will help those that are on this planet and others to encompass a new understanding for this planet of goodness and light. When you focus on all that is wrong, you bring in more wrong, even as you acknowledge that there is a way of being here on this planet that is a dark way at times. If you only see this dark way of being, this planet becomes darker. This is not what you have wanted. None of you have wanted this. And yet this is what could come to be if you do not shift your way of seeing things. Courage, capability of seeing past just this moment and going into the next, and acknowledging that every moment, every next can be different. Every next can be love. Every next can be love. This planet has so much potential and joy and happiness and beauty, but only if you will be brave enough to move into something different. We ask that you raise your understanding without fear into a unity experience. We wish that you see yourselves as a family of light. Isn't that amazing and so beautiful? So I feel like there may be a contradictory message, because I'm saying sit at the edge of the wave pool, and then I'm saying, but keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, don't stop. Here's the overall message that I am moving through me, and hopefully in a way that translates for you. I believe when things get crazy and chaotic and loud and busy, and we feel like the ground is swept out from underneath us, when we back up and we sit down at the edge of the wave pool and we just observe for a little while, we just watch what's happening and see it as the game, the activity, the adventure that it is, and put ourselves just at the edge of it, not outside of it, but just at the edge where we have a different understanding. From that place, from that peacefulness inside, we're able to discern, where is it we choose to go next? Do we like this wave pool? Do we want to go back into the wave pool? Do we want to get up from the edge of the wave pool and go lay on a beach chair for a little while and just soak up some sunshine? Do we want to get up and go on a ride and do something different than the wave pool? Do we want to talk to the people who are making all the waves and tell them to stop for a little while? Like, what is it? What is it that we choose to do? And when we have that shift in perspective and we can see the whole thing for what it is by sitting at the edge of it, our choices are different because our awareness is different. So, when we are aware of what we desire to do next, from this place of peacefulness and a different understanding, we are compelled, that's the best word, we are compelled into something new or something different. This is what Inara was channeling for us. When you begin that new endeavor, you have a vision, a new vision. And as you start moving in the direction of that vision, it's going to take on more form. And new elements of that vision will be revealed or understood as you start moving in that direction. So we'll apply it to the wave pool. You're sitting here at the edge with me, because I'm sitting at the edge, because I still like being in the sunshine at the edge. And as we're sitting here talking, we realize there's this area, perhaps it's over to the right, that looks like there's some bubbles. Maybe there's a little bubble machine. You know how they have those little holes that have jets that pop up some bubbles? Maybe we see there's this little area over there that doesn't look super busy, not a lot of activity happening over there, but there's these bubbles coming up that are kind of intriguing. Why don't we go take a look? So we visualize ourselves because we're in agreement. Let's go do that. Let's see what's happening over there. So we stand up and we walk over to this new area and we start putting our feet on these little jets that are popping bubbles up out of the water. The waves are still going on. The activity is still happening in the wave pool. We haven't left the game. We haven't left that adventure. But we found something that intrigues us, that brings us joy and delight. And as Inara was saying in her channeling, it moves us from darkness and fear into this enjoyment again. I love little bubble machines, little jets that pop up. We have them in the top step of our pool here in our backyard, which sadly is going to be closing next week. But the top step has these two little jets, and all the kids who play in our pool love the jets. They love sitting there and seeing these bubbles of water coming up, and they're heated, so they're even more enjoyable. So what if that's what we have in our wave pool? And you and I are over here with our toes being tickled by the jets, and we're looking down at what's happening at our feet instead of out at what everybody else is doing. No one's bumping into us over here because they haven't seen the jets. They're too busy in the waves or at the edge watching everything. Do you see how easily you can create a whole new experience? And you get to invite whoever you want into that experience. And you're still part of what's happening collectively, but you're engaging in a way that makes you happy, that is new but still part of the old system. It's the same water, it's the same jets that are connected to the wave pool, that's the mechanisms for the wave pool. It's probably all the same machinery. It's probably all being run by the same person over on the side. And yet this feels new and fun and interesting and delightful. We live in a world that is rich with experiences, rich with new activities, new creations. And if it isn't already in existence, we have all the resources we need to create that new thing that's intriguing us that doesn't exist yet. I was talking to someone this week about, well, it's a whole long story, but he had this idea of this new thing that he's going to be creating and how he's going to put a proposal together. And I could just feel his excitement, like, this doesn't exist yet. And I'm going to be creating it with somebody else and presenting it to see if it can get the funding. Like, how cool is that? That energy of, I see a need and the need hasn't been met, and I know I can help meet it. That energy is so contagious. It's so expansive, and it reverberates, it ripples through humanity when something new is being formed and then offered into the world. That's why we're all here. We come to create, we come to participate in something new being formed. And then often when we're in it, it's like, it just feels like a cesspool or a hot, heated nightmare. That's a little strong. I don't know if it feels like a nightmare. Maybe to some people. I hope not. I don't feel like life is a nightmare. But maybe that word is true if that came through me. I hope not. If it does, back up, get to the edge of the wave pool and look at it. Is it really a nightmare? It reminds me of that episode I made way back, Nightmare in My Closet, when you actually lasso the nightmare. It's not. It's nothing. We can create these things in our minds. Oh, I'm jumping all over, but these thoughts are popping through so quickly. I was watching a YouTube video with Sadhguru. I hope I'm saying his name right. This beautiful 100-year-old Indian thought mystic who travels around on a motorcycle and talks to people. And he was being interviewed, and he was describing, I think the question was, someone said, do we have enough time or do we not have enough time? I have both voices in my head constantly telling me in the morning, you have enough time, you don't have enough time. And he said, I don't know which one to believe. And Sadhguru says to him, it's not about time, it's the fact that you have two voices in your head. He said, that concerns me. You don't want to have two voices in your head. When you have two voices, they're constantly giving you contradictory answers. And he said that line between sanity and insanity is so narrow, so thin. That line between reality and the blurring of reality is so thin. And he said, put yourself firmly in the one that you choose to experience, and the one that feels true to you, and then stop talking. That other voice, stop it. Don't let it talk. Tell it to be quiet and focus on the voice that is giving you the pathway you want. But the best part was when he said, I have people tell me all the time, you're 100 years old, you must know so much and be so wise. And he said, what's 100 years of me in the whole experience of this earth. He said, what about the dinosaurs? What would they say about my 100 years? He was so irreverent about his significance. He was so light, and he said, I don't take myself seriously. You shouldn't take yourself seriously. We're just here to have this human journey and participate in it and create and experience and live, and then we die. He said, we're all going to go back into the ground, and we're all just going to be dirt, soil, topsoil. He said, so really, who am I? Who are you? Are we really as significant as we think we are? Talk about ego slap down. It's so amazing when someone that I think is very beautifully glowing and light shares that simple statement of whatever, you're gonna die, you might as well just live while you're here and enjoy it and have more fun and stop being so serious. These are all the threads that are moving through today's episode. So it's meant to be an adventure. This human realm, it's for the thrill of it, for the joy of it, for the expansion of it. And when we hold on to those old stories, when we grip them with both hands, as Trevor Hall says, we make our adventure so much more intense, so much more of a struggle. And why? Why? What if you can let those old stories go? This was the whole theme of the Quietly Listening space that Andrea and I held on Wednesday. You can find the playlist if you want on my Spotify account, Quietly Listening from 1021. And I have that song as the first one. Old stories, let them go. Let go of these old habits that no longer serve. This is Scorpio energy. Burn it to the ground, whatever it is that is not serving you and allowing you to have the most incredible human experience possible. Let it go. Burn it down. Stop. As the Sadhguru says, just stop. Stop the madness in your mind. Stop it. You just no longer allow it. When you feel those old habits kicking in, you choose to create it differently. You choose to stop that voice, to stop that critical, mean, whipping energy inside of you that is constantly judging and evaluating you. Laugh at yourself and be kind and pull back to the edge of the wave pool. Look at what's happening. Where do you actually want to be? What do you want to be doing? Scorpio energy says, burn it down because the phoenix is going to rise. Something incredible is going to come out of that fire. Be intentional about that. What do you want to create? If you're going to burn some things to the ground energetically, what do you want to have rise up from that? Imagine it in terms of the wave pool. Do you want to have a raft that you can float on for a while because you've been busting your butt and you're tired? Do you want to have some more time with your friends? Do you want to get stronger, healthier, and turn off the waves and start swimming laps and clear everybody out of your path? I don't know. All the possibilities are open. What do you want to do? What is it you desire? And can you focus on that and allow that? Move towards that, because when you move towards your desire, clearly focusing on it and dropping all the drama and the beliefs and the limitations that have been holding you back, your energy, your laser focused energy it's like watching Michael Phelps when he would swim in the Olympics and he would just move through the water. It was like watching an arrow just fly through the water from one side of the pool to the other. You can do that. When you are that laser focused and intentional and you start moving in the direction of your greatest desire, things are going to move out of the way. It's like in the wave pool. If someone's going to start swimming laps, and imagine Michael Phelps in your wave pool and he stands at the edge with his cap on looking at where he's going to go. I'm pretty sure people are going to start moving out of the way because he's going where he's going regardless. And if you happen to be in his way, you're going to get bumped. You're going to get moved to the side, and there's going to be a wake of water behind him that you'll feel moving you. He becomes the wave. He becomes the powerful energy of the wave machine. It's the same for us. When we allow ourselves to tune into our desires and we laser focus on them and start moving in that direction, the old stories drop away. It's like Anara says, we're walking, we're creating this whole new energy, this whole new, as she says, planet, this whole new place, because we know where we're going with it. So come along for the ride or get out of the way. I don't mean that in a mean way, because I'm very much about collaboration. I would rather hold your hand and drag you than push you out of the way. But I'm even getting better at that. I really don't even drag people anymore. I don't think. I try not to. I try to nudge them. Like in the wave pool, if I felt like you needed to go this way, I might come up and just sort of tap you with my elbow a little bit, like, hey, hey, you want to come? But I don't think I would drag you anymore. In the past, I probably would have, and I would have insisted that you come my way because my way's the right way. How far I've evolved. Aren't you so proud of me? I'm so proud of myself that I don't drag people around anymore. Yeah, instead I sit at the edge and observe and talk about what's happening. And then when I feel inspired, I get up with some people and I go play and dance in this little area. And then I come back and I watch some more. And then I see where I want to go next and I go play over there. And I am loving my wave pool. I'm loving my human adventure here on this planet. It just continues to get better and better. And I'm so grateful. That's probably the feeling I have more than anything else. One of the beautiful women in our gym, the energy gym, is going to start a podcast, and she shared an episode with us, and it was about receiving and how it's so connected to gratitude. And I could just feel that this morning. I'm like, oh, I want to take her title and talk about receiving, because it's totally what I'm feeling right now. And also I wouldn't do that, but I am tapping into her gratitude and expanding upon that. The gratitude I feel for the experience of this wave pool and all the people I get to play with that I desire to play with in the wave pool. Like, so fun. It's so fun. So I guess that one of the extra messages to add to the main one is when you reach this, when you begin letting go of the old stories and you focus more and more clearly on what you desire, and you start creating that and you move towards that and you invite others to do that with you, and the joy of having your desires fulfilled, little ways and big ways, when all of that starts happening, your own motor gets going, your own momentum starts to pick up and gather more strength, and you become your own machine in the wave pool. You create your own waves at your own pace with the people you choose to be in. It's like you almost have your own wave pool space within the bigger wave pool. And perhaps more and more of us who are in such alignment with our own flow, with our own movement, all starting to do it together, perhaps we shift the dynamic of the larger wave pool. So it's not being done to us. It's not the waves are being managed by some other big energy and they're knocking us down and disrupting our own flow. It's like we have our movement, our momentum in our own areas, and each of us doing that starts to create a whole new rhythm, a whole new flow of energy that's more collaborative, that's more inclusive, that follows a more unified energy, a more unified vibration. And I believe this is what Anara was sharing when she said we're walking from fear into this unity experience. Yeah, you can feel the potential of that. How's it begin? Like, we each start doing it. We each start doing it. So maybe you back up first. After last week's episode, you back up and you sit and you observe this wave pool, and then you start to identify your desires, and you start playing with those desires and then feeling what shifts. It's pretty amazing. So amazing. It's so good. It's so good. All right. I think that's it. I'm going to get ready for my gym call. If you're looking for community, you should be playing with us in the gym, the energy gym. And Sunday, we've got our meditation. So if you're looking for a way to tap into this individual awareness, what do I desire and what is it I want to create next? How do I move towards that? Sunday's meditation will support you in that. All right, loves, welcome to Scorpio. It's going to be an incredible month. Absolutely incredible. Have a beautiful weekend. Thank you for tuning in to this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me on Sunday mornings for an hour of meditation, visualization, and energy healing, where we realign our mind, body, spirit with Gaia and Source. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.